For most of your life, you've been told a lie that self-pleasure was shameful, that it was something you should have left behind long ago. But no one ever told you the full truth, especially not the part that matters most once you're past 60. You see, after 6 decades of life, masturbation isn't just acceptable, it might be one of the key elements in maintaining your health and vitality. I'm Dr. Samuel Boyd. For more than 30 years, I've worked with men facing a range of urological and aging challenges. In that time, I've witnessed the silent damage caused by shame, misinformation, and disconnection from one's own body. Many men I've treated haven't suffered due to disease, but due to ignorance. They didn't know that the way they engaged in self-pleasure could either protect or endanger their well-being. The truth is simple. The majority of older men either stop masturbating entirely or continue doing it in ways that are ultimately harmful. How you approach your body, how often, how consciously, has an effect that goes far beyond pleasure. It affects your hormones, your circulation, your sleep, and your mental health. Done wrong, it can contribute to erectile dysfunction, mood issues, and even prostate problems. Done right, it's like an internal reset. It keeps your testosterone flowing, supports brain health, and keeps your vascular system functioning. This isn't about indulgence. It's about reclaiming control, reconnecting with your body, and countering the slow creep of decline. In a moment, I'll share 7 essential truths that every man over 60 should know. Wisdom you should have been taught long ago. But first, pause and ask yourself, if a simple act could support your longevity, your joy, and your sense of self, wouldn't you want to know how to do it properly? Let's begin. Over the years, I've had hundreds of men sit across from me, eyes down, unsure how to talk about their struggles. And when I gently ask if they masturbate, the response is often hesitant. Yes, they say, but it doesn't feel like it used to. Or worse, I can't finish anymore. That haunting phrase, my body forgot how to feel, says it all. Most don't realize that years of mechanical, rushed, disconnected self-talk train the nervous system into dysfunction. When arousal is tied exclusively to fast, impersonal routines, always with a screen, always with tension, the brain learns and it adapts, often in the wrong direction. Sensitivity drops, erections fade, pleasure becomes harder to access, and eventually intimacy with a partner starts to feel foreign, slow, even awkward. This conditioning doesn't just rob you of sensation, it chips away at your confidence, your identity, your connection to yourself. It leads to common but under-discussed conditions like porn-induced erectile dysfunction and delayed ejaculation. The scariest part, most men don't realize they've done this to themselves. But the nervous system is plastic. It can rewire given the right attention, patience, and approach. That means slowing down, engaging emotionally, and treating self-pleasure as connection, not escape. Let me tell you about David, a patient in his late 60s who came to me because he was waking several times a night to urinate. He thought it was just aging. When I asked when he last ejaculated, he looked stunned. "Years," he said. That's for young men. That belief that a man past a certain age should stop expressing his sexuality is not only incorrect, it's dangerous. The prostate doesn't retire just because you do. It keeps producing fluid. When ejaculation stops, that fluid builds up, causing inflammation and congestion. Over time, this leads to symptoms men often mistake for aging: frequent urination, pelvic pressure, discomfort. What's more, inflammation in the prostate has been linked to increased cancer risk. One Harvard study even found that men who ejaculated over 21 times a month had significantly lower chances of developing prostate cancer than those who didn't. That's science, not speculation. David began touching himself again, not out of lust, but out of care. Slowly, his symptoms eased, his sleep improved, and more than that, something inside him reawakened. He reclaimed a part of himself he thought had been buried with the past. There's a quiet grief that lives in many older men. I see it in my office every day. Not in the words, but in the silence. The way they shift uncomfortably when I ask about intimacy, the nervous laughs, the deflection. It's not that they don't want to feel, it's that they were taught they shouldn't. For decades, the message was clear. Self-touch is dirty, childish, shameful. But shame doesn't disappear. It embeds itself deep in the nervous system, coloring how you see yourself in your body. The result? Disconnection, withdrawal, a sense that desire itself is inappropriate. And biologically, shame is a stressor. It raises cortisol, lowers dopamine, and robs your body of the very chemicals that protect your mood, your heart, and your brain. I once worked with a man in his 70s who hadn't been touched in over a decade. Not by another, not even by himself. He wasn't sick, he was just gone, numb. Over time, we helped him reconnect with his own body, no pressure, no shame, and slowly his light returned. His voice grew steadier. He began to feel like a man again. Shame tells you that you've outlived your right to pleasure, but that's a lie. You are never too old to feel. There's a pervasive myth that testosterone simply drops with age, as if it's a passive process. That's not entirely true. Yes, testosterone declines over time, but inactivity accelerates that decline. When you stop engaging sexually, even solo, your body turns down the hormonal dial. Your biology adapts to what it believes you need. No sex drive, no testosterone. Muscles fade, belly grows. Sleep becomes restless. The edge you once had, it vanishes. Not because of age, but because your body assumes it's no longer needed. I remember Frank, a 73-year-old ex-firefighter who told me, I don't see the point anymore. His testosterone was near clinical deficiency, but with some small changes. Solo touch, breath work, presence. Not only did his labs improve, his whole demeanor shifted. His body started responding again. Your testosterone listens to your behavior. When you re-engage, even privately, your system wakes up. And the effects reach far beyond the bedroom, into your confidence, your memory, even your lifespan. Many men believe that if they're not having sex, they don't need to worry about erections. But erectile function isn't just about intimacy. It's about circulation, tissue health, neurological function. I treated a man named Harold who hadn't had an erection in years, not due to dysfunction, but due to disuse. His body had started shutting that system down. Without regular erections, the penile tissue loses elasticity, blood vessels harden, nitric oxide declines. Eventually, it becomes hard or impossible to respond, even if the desire returns. This isn't just a matter of physical capacity. It affects self-immune, mood, and motivation. It slowly chips away at your identity as a vibrant, capable man. But here's the good news. You can tell your body, I still need this. Through regular, intentional erections, even via solo stimulation, you keep those systems alive. You protect not just your pleasure, but your heart and mind. We have to talk about pornography. It's uncomfortable, sure, but necessary. Many older men still turn to it not for addiction, but to feel something, to connect with a memory of desire. But today's content isn't like what existed decades ago. It's fast, intense, overstimulating, and it floods the brain with dopamine. Over time, this distorts your brain's arousal circuits. Real touch begins to feel dull. You need more novelty, more intensity. Erections suffer, connection fades. This is how many men develop porn-induced erectile dysfunction. But the solution isn't shame, it's retraining. Your brain, even at 60 or 70, can heal by stepping back from overstimulation and reintroducing presence and imagination. You can restore sensitivity. The pleasure isn't the problem. Disconnection is. You can bring your body back into alignment, gently and with grace. Finally, the most dangerous mistake, isolation. Not just being alone, but being untouched. Untouched by others, yes, but also by yourself. Over time, that lack of physical connection becomes biological withdrawal. Oxytocin drops. Stress hormones rise. Your immune system weakens. Sleep declines. Peter, 76, hadn't been hugged in a year. He didn't even seem sad, just resigned. But the body doesn't adapt well to that kind of silence. It shuts down slowly, quietly, until the spark is gone. Isolation doesn't start with living alone. It starts when you stop engaging with your own body, when you believe falsely that this chapter is over, but it's not. Your body still wants to feel, still wants to connect. And when you give it permission, when you touch yourself with kindness, presence, dignity, something stirs, you begin to come back. If you've made it this far, thank you. What we've explored isn't just about sex. It's about health, vitality, and the relationship you have with yourself. Mindless masturbation can train your body away from sensitivity. Avoiding ejaculation can trigger inflammation. Shame can poison your emotional well-being. Isolation can extinguish your spark. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can retrain your body, you can reconnect with your desire, you can reclaim your sense of aliveness. And it all starts with a choice to stop hiding, stop apologizing, and start engaging again. Slowly, intentionally, and with compassion. What I give my patients is a simple practice, 10 minutes a day, devoted not to climax, but to connection. A quiet ritual of breath, touch, and awareness. This simple act has changed lives. It might change yours too. You are not too old, you are not broken, and you are certainly not done. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I'm Dr. Samuel Boyd, and I'm here to bring you real, science-based insights that help you live with strength, purpose, and connection. Your next chapter begins now.